When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech for Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech for Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Welcome everybody to the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200. I'm Rick Sousa and welcome to the IWM Broadcast Network, and I'm joined here in the booth by my broadcasting partner, John DeRudras.
We're here in Hotlanta today, and let me tell you, this is not new Atlanta. This is old Atlanta, so not some super speedway racing like we're typically used to seeing in the Cup Series. This is old Atlanta with the next-gen cars. So what does that mean? It means a lot of different lines. It means a lot of slippery tires. And you know what that means. That could mean a lot of what that 21 car just did right there at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I reckon. So let's really quick, before qualifying starts, let's bring up our Tech for Troop Cup Series point standings as it stands going into the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200. Joey Doucette still top of the board right now with a clear lead over Ryan Pittman of about 50 to 60 points. I mean, he has a demanding lead with Harley Barletta in third, still looking to get that first win. But look at Hermes Castro. He's had a great run this far this season. He was fastest in practice. We'll see if he's able to do anything in the fourth position. Ian Ogden is in fifth. Mike Sladker is in fifth. Your previous Cup Series champion, Christopher Howell, is in seventh. Sean Shootman's in eighth. Ty Bostic is in ninth. And Marco Berube rounds out your top 10 in the point standings.
All right, so qualifying is underway. Let's join it right now. We'll pick up somebody who is currently on the track.
I believe that's Sean Shootman there in the 43 machine.
Actually, that's Andrew Surwick.
Or Andrew Surwick.
In the 43, yep. See his qualifying time. We'll bring up and get our best time board in our tower up and see where we are at once these laps begin to trickle in.
Yep, I had all my numbers mixed up, so now I got them corrected. Sean Schubin is the 37, not the 43. Let's see what he's able to do. Ian Ogden's at the top of the board right now with the 31.22, followed by Mike Slapker there with the 31.23. There's Mr. Ogden out of AJM.
So we've got 2 laps of qualifying tonight. Usually lap 1 is get ready for lap 2, and lap 2 is your keeper when it comes to your best qualifying attempt.
Yep, and that kind of looks like what happened with Ian Ogden there, but Joey Doucette decided to knock him off by running a 10th faster. There goes Luke Bullard right behind Mr. Doucette. There's Paul Valenstein making his way up to the top 5 right now, and Alonzo King, rather, jumped his way up there.
All right, so qualifying is ticking away. There's a number of drivers who are still in the process right now of currently qualifying and getting ready to qualify.
Really quick, as we have some people joining us on the YouTube side of things. We have best of luck, John Ledger. So John Ledger, you got a little supporter out there, and really quick, Hermes Castro just went to the top of the board with a 31.09. First time we've able to see anybody get into the sub 31.1 bracket.
Look at and he's rocking a new paint scheme for tonight.
He is. He's rocking our title sponsor, Tech for Troops. So let's see if he's able to maybe bring home another quick lap, or he's going to try to do a practice pit road entry. I highly recommend that. That's what he just did. So great run by Mr. Castro.
So starting tonight, our title sponsor, Tech for Troops, is holding a weekly contest for our scheme skirmish of the Speedway, and that means that the winner, as chosen by our Tech for Troops sponsor of the best paint scheme of the night, will receive an Amazon gift card at the end of the race. So we'll announce that winner once that selection is made, and stay tuned for our Speedway skirmish.
Alrighty, there we go. Beautiful scheme, by the way. Love the blue and the white. Here comes Christopher Howell. He moves his way up to P3 on the board. No one's been able to compete with that 31.09.
That's a screaming time. I'm just shocked at that number.
I mean, in these cars that don't race here anymore on this current surface, it's definitely interesting to see how close that top 5 is, all separated by less than a 1/10 of a second right there. So we'll see what Christopher Howell is able to do on lap number 2. He ran a 31.16. If he's able to run anything quicker here. Nope, nothing quicker. He may just be running some extra laps to see what that number 88 machine can do. Still looking for his first win of the season there out of AJM. There's Brad Previtt. He just tagged the outside wall coming into turn 1. See that right side damage, which is something I think we may see a little bit more of tonight. Not out of Mr. Brad, but out of maybe the rest of the field, and we'll get into that once we talk about the 3 keys to the race. But as it stands right now, it looks like those are all the competitors who are going to run some qualifying laps here at Atlanta. A 23-car field from what it is showing us right now.
Well, we can, at this point, if you want, John, maybe it's a good time to talk about, while they're gridding up, John's keys to the race.
Absolutely. So, for the Hotlanta 200, where we got to talk about this surface. You know, this surface is old. It's the old Atlanta. It's not the new Atlanta. So you got to preserve your tires. Everybody knows how Atlanta is just known for just sliding through the corners. So if you're able to preserve your tires early and often, you are more than likely going to be a contender at the end of the race. Second, exit throttle control. So what do I mean by that is, your throttle control off the corner is going to be one of the most important things to, 1, preserve tires, and 2, keep your car going in the right direction. So make sure to not stab the throttle too hard on exit, or you're going to be going right around. And number 3, clean air. Clean air is going to be everything here, I believe, in these new next-gen cars. So whoever's out front is going to have an advantage, and that clean air is going to pay dividends on the long run if you're also able to save your tires. So we'll see what's able to happen here tonight at Hotlanta. Let's bring up our starting lineup for the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200, brought to you by Tech for Troops. In first, your pole sitter, Hermes Castro out of Owl's Nest Racing, is P1. In second place, your current point standings leader, Joey Doucette out of AJM. Third, his teammate, Christopher Howell, followed by Luke Bullard in fourth, Ty Bostic in fifth, Ian Ogden in sixth, Robert Fake with a nice run up there in P7, Harley Barletta in eighth, Mike Slapker rounding out ninth, and Paul Valentine rounding out your top 10.
In 11th, you got Ryan Pittman in the 08 on the outside. Alonzo King in the 80 is currently showing in 12th. In 13th, Marco Berube in 99 on the outside. Alexander Schumacher in the 68. In 15th position, Bobby Gibson in the 28. On the outside, Mark Feeney in the 73. Austin Armstrong is in 17th. And William Mann Jr. in the 29 is in 18th. The 19th slot is filled by Jeff Needy in the 40. And outside of Jeff is Sean Shipman in 37 in 20th position.
In 21st, you have Brad Previtt, followed by Andrew Surwick in 22nd. David Watts makes up 23rd. John Ledger is in 24th, technically. Evan Amick is in 25th. Elias Hope is not joining us for tonight's race because he is the admin and the owner of the league. And also, Pete Woodrum is out routing out P26. So that is our 26 car field.
All right, let's see just what this track is presenting to us right now with our race information. We have got a balmy 73 degrees air temp, but the track temperature is 115 degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot, and it's gonna be slick. You got 4 sets of tires with a quick repair, and I believe all 4 of those sets are gonna be needed, and that quick repair may be needed as well. Pace car drops off. We are green flag racing here at Hotlanta. We got a stack up wreck in the beginning, big wreck right at the start. No caution yet, but I believe it will be. Wow. Well,
looks like Luke Bullard just went dead right on that and tagged the wall.
That's got to be a shift. That has to be a missed shift. I mean, I know these tires are cold, but I mean, that was way too early.
If we can go back and take a look at this.
Yeah. That was way too early for this.
Just trying to get a far chase shot. And maybe we're a little bit too far back, but let's let this play out a bit, and then we can back it up. Wow.
Yeah, what happened to the 72 there?
That 72, that is
Robert
Fake.
I mean, it looked like he almost... Did he...
Look, I'm watching the 14 behind him. He does get a little help there by the 14, but because I guess he checked up, and of course he doors the 89 of Valentine. Luke Bullard is in the wall in the 3.
Yeah, it looked like he had the same issue as well, Rick.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars spinning here.
I mean, let's go. I mean, we have the 72 spinning across the track. There comes the 19. That is John Ledger. I mean, could we go on board of the 72, because it looks like the 72 and the 3 had identical starts here. Was it throttle? I mean, Rick, I don't know. That's wild to see this right off the bat.
Yeah, we can go on board right now. Let's see with the 72. Let's do a driver cam. This is on board at full speed with Robert Fake. He's in second gear. I think he went to throttle up and then just spun the tires.
Just didn't grip. Just didn't grip the track. I think the same thing happened with Luke Bullard as well. I mean, that was twice. I mean, now this poses a big threat to the whole field, because, Rick, what happens if we get some laps on these tires? What's going to happen then?
Yeah, let's go on board with Luke Bullard. Again,
he's the same thing.
He's in second gear.
Okay. 5400, throttles up. It's almost the same thing that happened. I mean, it just looked like once he got on the throttle, it just completely went to the wall. So, or got out of shape. Well, that's our first caution of the night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Wow, that was interesting for sure. Not really. I guess we're just gonna chalk that up to cold tires.
I guess. I mean, I don't really know. Don't really know how else you could chalk it up besides that. You know, it's definitely crazy to see that early on, but it's something that hopefully will get straightened out as this race progresses here. But you know, since this is a caution, I got some facts for you now. So well, I may have to prepare more after that. But did you know that the Cup Series qualifying record was set back in 1997 here at Atlanta by Jeffrey Bodine with an average speed of 197 miles an hour around Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, let's think about that. That is well, back in those days, you're comparing that to Talladega and Daytona. So, I mean, wild speeds there for that. That is a qualifying time or qualifying speed there. So that is your first Atlanta track fact. I will try to find more as the race progresses if there are more cautions.
Well, I think right now, let's take a look at that. Yep, pace car. The lights are off on top of the pace car, which means we are going back to green flag racing next time around, hopefully with a slightly different result.
Well, we can hope. We can hope.
So unfortunately, that impact has certainly affected a number of drivers. Mike Slachter, John Ledger, Robert Fake, I think Mark Feeney also, Paul Valentine. We're all caught up in that incident. Hopefully those guys can get things straightened out.
We'll see. We will see as the field makes their way down the back stretch. And gonna give a couple more shout outs. Ryan Pittman says, "Good luck, everyone. Thanks for the broadcast." Well, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Pittman is on the track.
He is currently sitting in 7th position.
Randy says John Ledger for the win. So let's see if he can make his way back up after getting involved in that first incident. And Matt Swope says, "Good luck, everyone." So good old Matt there. Pace car is dropped off. Rick, I think we're about to go green flag racing again. Let's see if the restart's any better.
We are back to green.
And I think, oh my gosh.
That's the 68 spinning right into the wall. That's Alexander Schumacher. I'm not sure.
I'm at a loss for words. I've never seen this twice in a row, Rick.
Oh, the 29 came up of.
Oh, yep. That's
Robert Mann. Is it William Mann Jr.? Luke Bullard got collected again. I know Bobby Gibson was involved at some point. Let's see where.
So, definitely some interesting chatter over the radio.
Look at that.
Oh, look at Bobby Gibson. The same thing.
Nobody touched him.
Now he's going to reverse. Look at that. He's pulling the Lightning McQueen, everybody. He is in a red car. So, Bobby, you have been deemed as Lightning McQueen. But I heard over the radio, don't stab the throttle. And I think that's kind of the issue that we're facing here is that I guess the drivers are stabbing the throttle.
Well, he's in 3rd gear. He is in 3rd gear.
Oh, he downshifted. Yep. That's what did it. Well, we know why Bobby spun. Let's see if we can go back to Alexander Schumacher and see what happened with that 68 machine. Let's see if we can go on board here because he definitely got turned. But let's see. We're not able to see any RPMs or anything, but I think that car definitely did get a little loose, Rick.
Yeah, I'm looking for a different. I don't have an inside camera. He's driving a Ford, and our cameras don't mount well inside that car. But we can go. We can maybe hear a little bit here. Let's see what we can hear.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that it just got out of shape, and really, I mean, I don't know if William Mann just kind of know where to go. I mean, just a matter of just product of circumstance, you know.
Well, we are 8 laps are completed, all under caution.
All under caution. Well, you know, it's another caution, so this means another track fact. So, did you know, Rick, that in the opening scenes of the movie Smokey and the Bandit 2, they actually filmed that beginning scene at this racetrack. Also, it was used for the 1983 film Stroke Ace.
Stroke Race. There you
Stroke
go.
Race. Yep, Stroke Race. So, it's called Hotlanta for a reason, not because of temperature, but because of some very famous movies have been shot here as well.
That's got to be what it is.
Exactly.
So speaking of that, we do know from a race information that the track is exceptionally warm.
Especially for a 73-degree day. I mean, you know, it just seems like they're like pumping heat into the track or something.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But it is what it is. So,
you know, and that could also be a reason why you're seeing these spins, is that with the cold tire temperatures and the warm track surface, I mean, I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive, but that could definitely be playing a factor into the grip level.
Well, it's certainly not helping.
Not at all.
I'm just looking at our incident board and hearing from our pit reporters. I'm just going to try and see what else we may have seen. No, that was just Luke Bullard. I think he may have stopped on track. So let's just go back. All right, so our second caution has come and gone. There are some damaged race cars, maybe a few damaged egos in the process. Don't know. But certainly we've learned a very valuable lesson here, and that is, do not just jam your foot into the throttle and expect the tires to stick, because they're not.
Yeah, don't expect anything good when you do that. Save the stabbing of the throttle for when you get into turn 1, or maybe even the backstretch. I don't even know. But right now it looks like, I believe, everybody besides Luke Bullard, Robert Fake, Mark Feeney, and Paul Valentine are on the lead lap. So we have 22 cars on the lead lap so far, and we are looking to get the green flag this time by...
Let's try this. Maybe the third time is the charm.
Yeah, third time. I'm feeling good about this one, Rick. I'm feeling good about this. I hope they can get it around here. We will see, though. We'll find out here very soon.
All right, pace car has dropped off the racing surface. Coming up the flag, and here we go. Back to green flag racing at Atlanta. We are crossing our fingers so we can actually complete a lap.
He has made it across the start-finish line, so we have a promise there. We're good. Let's see what turn 1 looks like. Everybody is spread out right now. And we made it through 1. See if everybody comes off too clean. They do. I believe we are racing, Rick, here in Atlanta.
Hopefully we stay racing. All right, so we are back to the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200 after a couple earlier incidents kind of put us back in the caution mode. Our first 11 laps were completed under caution. But right now, Hermas Castro is out front.
And taking advantage of what I think is a big factor here, clean air. You can see he's got nobody in front of him. He's running that low line, and we know, Rick, running the high line here does work, and I saw him running that in practice, so I anticipate Mr. Castro to get that high line working up here pretty soon. Right on cue. Look at that. It's like I'm talking to Hermas Castro right now, and I'm on his crew chief as well.
Maybe listening to you in his ear.
He may be. I mean, Ryan Pittman's commenting on YouTube, so who knows who's been watching and driving at the same time. But right now, Hermes Castro all the way up in that high line, which he found much, much faster on the long run here at Atlanta in practice. He was the fastest car in practice as well. So
what we do know about the high line in Atlanta with these cars is that A, it's a little faster, but B, it has less tire wear. It's not quite as abrasive, and if you're timely with your corner entry and exit, you can definitely make these tires last.
Sure, let's see if we can ride on board with the 25 right now before he goes into turn 1 to see how close he gets to the wall, because it is very impressive to run the high line here at Atlanta in these Cup cars. And you can just see how he's all the way up against that wall. I mean, it looks like he's basically hitting it, but he's really not. I mean, very close to the wall there. A lot of throttle, a lot of car control, doing a great job.
So he's completely off the throttle to about the apex between 3 and 4, and then back on. Based on those RPMs, he's all the way.
Yep. And, you know, Joey Doucette may catch him here, but I think Castro knows what he's doing. I believe he's saving a little bit of tires by running that high line, and I think you're going to see that from a lot of the drivers on back. Taking a look back at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, you have Howell, Bostic, Barletta, and Ogden all battling right there. Christopher Howell looking for his first win of the season. Same thing with Ty Bostic in that beautiful number 22 machine. That beautiful 22 Tide. Got the chrome on the back, the chrome paint, looking fantastic there. I believe it's chrome. Is that chrome, Rick? Or am I
think
just blind?
No, I think it's a little bit of a chrome feature in the back of that car.
Yes, it is.
A little bit of contact.
Oh, you got the 22 and the 88. Oh, that's definitely chrome.
Yeah, he's got that spec map working well on this car for sure.
Yeah, it looks really, really good with that tight scheme. So here we go. We got Harley Barletta now going around the right side on the high side of Christopher Howell. Let's see what Harley Barletta's looking at. You know, he's looking for his first win of the season too, Rick. And I think it could come at a place like Atlanta. He's been running consistent times. He's been running up there at the front. I think he has a good chance to bring home a win.
Yeah, I mean, while all these guys you're watching right now, Ty Bostic, Harley Barletta, Christopher Howell, and Ian Ogden are all on the same team. You know what? Team points don't matter when it comes to team. It's all about you, the individual.
It is, and right now, you know, Joey Doucette is the class of the field for those AJM guys, and all those other guys are looking for wins because Joey Doucette has brought home 3 wins this season so far, sitting himself way ahead of the competition by over a full race. So he could not show up one week and still be the point leader, even if somebody got max points, which is crazy to think here in the Cup Series. But we're 20 out of 133 complete here in the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200. Hermes Castro is out front, followed by Joey Doucette and the rest of the AJM guys. You have Ty Bostic in 3rd, as those AJM guys battle for 3rd, or for 4th, 5th, and 6th, with Ryan Pittman in 7th, William Mann Jr. in 8th, Marco Berube in 9th, and Mike Sladker rounding out your top 2.
You know, we've seen Mike kind of move up through the field at the beginning. When we first saw him in the series, as he began to he was relatively new to the group. He has worked his way up, and we're now consistently seeing Mike in the top 10.
He is. He's been improving every single week, and that is something that you want to have happen here, especially at this point in the season, because if you can get on a roll, Mr. Souza there, you can find your way up to the top 12, which is what you need to be in to get into the top standings here to move into the playoffs. So absolutely, what a run by Sladker there in that Monster Energy number 14 car.
All right, we're watching Hermes Castro continue to put on a clinic on how to run the high line here at Atlanta. Joey Doucette is on his tail, but about half a second behind, running a slightly different track.
Yeah, he's running that middle line, which is interesting because It's going to be a little bit more tire wear, but also he is not pushing it as hard as these guys that are running the low line. So we'll see how that fares out over time. But right now, with 111 to go, about 10 to 15 laps on these set of tires, this is when it's going to start, noticeably being a difference between who's saving and who has used up too much of their tires. But Rick, right now, these two leaders have a good 2 seconds on the rest of the field.
They do. Let's drop back to Ty Bostic. Ty's kind of taking some middle ground, although he's got a couple of guys that would do right there on his tail. But he's got a little bit of a gap over those guys. That's the 81 of Harley Barletta and the 88 of Christopher Howell.
And while we're on Ty Bostic, Donna says Ty's a game developer. He's got a little practice with designing those cars. He's designed Luke's Tedder Trash Solutions car as well. So if we look over back at Luke Bullard, we could see maybe if he's running that paint scheme tonight, Rick. I believe he is. If I'm not mistaken, it's hard to kind of see that paint scheme.
There it is. It's a black and red paint scheme.
Yep, I can't see the hood, but I believe it. So definitely got some awesome. Oh, car on the wall right there. We caught that. Who was right in front of Luke there? Is that the 43 of?
It is. It is the 43 of
Sherwick.
Sherwick. Yes, you are correct.
Yep. And Rick, we have a. Go ahead.
I keep wanting to say Jameson.
Yeah, really. We got a tight battle for the lead right now, but yeah, I agree. I keep on wanting to say either, for some reason, Schumacher or Jameson there. But right now, we have Joey Doucette and Hermes Castro battling for the lead. Two very different lines being run right now for those two cars. We'll see who has the run. It should be Castro, but that 11 is still fighting hard on the bottom lane with 1:07 to go.
Well, the thing is, he can fight down there all he wants, but I think there's just going to be a point where his tire wear will be eclipsed by Hermes Castro.
I agree, and it may not be by a lot, but it'll be enough, especially as these laps wind on, maybe 5 or 10 laps from now, just because of where everybody else is running on the track. Right now I'm looking back through the field. The only cars that are running that high line right now is really only Hermes Castro. Nobody else is running that high line. You see Joey Doucette getting that run in the middle lane there. We'll see how much oomph this 25 has to battle back on the high side off the corner, but I think Joey Doucette may clear him coming out of 2. Slides right in front of him. What a move by the 11, your point leader, to go to the point here tonight. Joey Doucette is now your leader of the Tech for Troops Hotlanta 200.
That was a heck of a pass. That was just inches as he moved his way in front of the 25 of Hermes Castro.
Yep, and here we go. That 25 may try to pressure that 11 a little bit, try to get a little loose by being right on his tail in there. We know these cars can definitely get loose, and we'll see what happens as these guys are nose to tail going into 3.
Well, he definitely dropped down to Joey's line for a bit, but then kind of moved his way back up, getting a little bit of air with Joey.
He has a run coming out of turn 4 right now. Let's see what he was able to do. I mean, they're like mimicking each other right now. Awesome to see both these guys running this high line. Oh, 11 got loose. And there's some bump drafting going on.
Just a little bit. I did see some sparks fly. Someone tagged that wall.
Oh, you're going to see a big run from the 25 car. You can see it just off the corner right there. That 25 gets a massive run. Let's see if he's gutsy enough to go to the bottom side. He waits a second. And here comes the 25. Down to the inside of the 11. And not quite there yet. But he definitely has the faster car right now, I believe. I think he's just letting the 11 kind of just get a hint of what that clean air tastes like.
Well, 31 laps in the book. We've run 20. clean and green for the past little bit. We're not quite sure at this point what our fuel mileage is, so we're as curious as you when we see these guys coming down pit road. John, any idea as to when you expect to see them come down?
So, with 60% fuel at a mile and a half, I mean, you're probably looking at somewhere around 37 to 40 laps. So, they're not going to come down right at lap 40, but I think they will come down probably close to 40, 44. My guess. Here we go. Big checkup out of the 11. Got loose.
You see what's going on here. This battle between these two guys has allowed Ty Bostic and Christopher Howell to catch back up.
Right, and we actually had a car just come out of pit road right there.
What happened with Hermas Castro? Yeah, he was slowing down.
11 got loose as well. I mean, 11 was trying to battle back, and then the 22 cuts off the 88. Oh, we got a 4-car battle for the lead. Here we go, folks. In Hotlanta, it's definitely getting hot up front. Hermas Castro takes the point. Can of caution. Looks like Alonzo King was involved in that.
Alexander Schumacher as well. It's probably good timing for these guys. We'll probably see a few of those guys in the pits.
Oh, I imagine everybody's going to come down pit road.
Well, I think we figured out where it happened. Let's go back and see.
From what I heard is that the 80 got loose underneath the 68 out of the corner from the radio.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, yep, definitely you can see that. And if you're watching for the first time, or this is your first time watching this type, you can take those seams that you see on the track were part of the original Atlanta. So those are actual seams, and certainly that helps us as commentators and viewers, but it also they can be a little slippery as well to the driver.
Yep, when you're making that transition, it just doesn't really like it. And you can see right as he hits it, it just gets loose, tags 68 in the left rear. 68 does a nice job, barely taps the outside wall. He should be okay. But two great drivers right there battling pretty hard. But Rick, we got the leaders on pit road. Here comes Hermas Castro and the rest of the field.
The entire field is now on pit road.
We had some guys slide through their stalls.
So you're seeing a full change of tires and topping off of fuel. Of course, this plays another, I guess, right back to what we saw in the first 12 laps. Hopefully these guys will realize, hey, our tires are A, cold, and B, a little slippery.
They definitely are, and I wouldn't be surprised to see another spin. Not because these drivers are bad, but just because the nature of this track. I mean, you saw some of the best get loose there on the first couple of restarts. So we'll see what happens here as they have 36 out of 133 under their belt. And right now, making a note, so they pit on lap 36 technically. So got to make that number known, and that is what we're going to use as a reference right now. Pretty much right in line with what I was envisioning, but obviously we had 8 laps of caution, so that ties into it. But I still think you can't stay out here on cold tires. I mean, it's just not going to work.
No, for sure. So once we can kind of get a feel for, pretty much everybody has gone back in. I think looking at the board here, every driver has pitted at this point, either at lap 35 or if they were involved in something earlier, they pitted slightly earlier. But this is their first pit stop for a good bit of these guys. Got David Watts up there in it's like a very patriotic Tech for Troops branded car, as well as the iRacing Warriors Motorsports on it as well. So probably another good contender for our sponsor to look at paint schemes in cars.
Absolutely. Got him up front. Good time to get that paint scheme some TV time.
All right, let's see if we can go on board. Let's see if we can grab Ian Ogden. Ian, welcome to the broadcast booth. Got a minute during this caution to talk with us?
Sure.
So, slippery tires, a little greasy out there?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not too terrible. Getting towards the end of the run, it's a little loose. But, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. We didn't do too hot in practice, so this is good.
So what are you seeing on the restarts? So is it that loose under throttle when you like basically stop on the gas? Is it that loose? Because we've seen multiple cars spin out on the restarts.
Yeah, so it is definitely a roll into the throttle kind of night. Definitely don't want to stab the gas and try to get going. You definitely need to roll, or otherwise you'll spin the tires.
All right, well, you're about to go back to green flag. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later.
We can keep going, guys. I'm good.
All right, good luck to you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
We may need to do that here in a little bit. Not this race maybe, but maybe get some live in-car feed with that good sir right there and see what he's feeling live. I mean, that'd be pretty cool to have that in the broadcast. Rick, we're about to go green flag racing here. Here we go. Green flag, outside line does not go, inside line does not go, but Hermas Castro does. Everybody keeps their car straight. We're racing.
Kind of holding my breath a little bit here as these guys begin to cross that start-finish line. Hermas Castro jumps out to a good lead.
Yep, and we're 2x2 coming out of turn 2.
Coming back behind him, obviously Joey Doucette has kind of separated himself with that group, but don't look too far back. You've got Ryan Pittman, Harley Barletta, Mike Slagter, Ty Bostic, Chris Howell. They're all there in a pack trying to run down this leader.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mike Slagter there back in P5. He's doing an awesome job already from really, he started in 9th, so he's making his way methodically through the field. In that number 14, we mentioned him earlier as being one of the contenders to slowly make his way up through the field in every single race here in the Tech for Troop Cup Series. Same thing with Ryan Pittman. Ryan Pittman right now is running, I believe, in 3rd. He just passed, I believe that is the 81 of Harley Barletta, so he's up from 11th place. Great to see him up there in that, always got to say, that awesome NASCAR racing car. Just one of my favorites.
So another big mover is the 29 of William Mann. Although he was, I think, in that earlier incident, he has now moved up 10 spots. He started 11 spots now. He's up to 7th. He started in 18th position.
Yep, and here he goes around the outside of Christopher Howell there. Ty Bostic blocks that high line, but I think